Okay, so welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another session here at KWC Kingdom Wealth Creators. Our vision is to fully equip each person to create kingdom wealth. And today we have a very special guest who is going to show us how that person's journey has been with us here at KWC. He's been a partner with us for a while now, and he's doing really well. In fact, I want to say that he has outperformed me for the last 2 3 months, and that's amazing because that's what I really want to see, people that I help and invest into so that they learn how to create wealth. If they do better than me, I'd be very happy. That's the ultimate goal and vision of KWC. All right. So welcome once again. I just want you to know, if you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to like this video. Please remember to watch it till the end. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Kingdom Wealth Creators. And this is the how the page looks like. And share this. Let your friends, your family know that this is something that can really help them. I noticed that many of these, and I've got a lot of feedback that the videos that I put up for about different things is usually taught for a lot of money in many cities, in many places by many people. And so I want to know, it's all free. It's freely available on the channel. Just subscribe and follow up. And you have any questions, you can ask. It is, and we're ready to help. All right. Okay. So this has been a special month so far. Okay. I thought last month was special because last month we really outperformed. We did really well. But so far, this month, actually, this first week of December has been really special for us here at KWC, because this is what's happened. On December 1st, the Nifty was around 13,000, and on 4th, which was Friday, it closed around 13,250. So you're looking at a move of around 200 points, or about 1.5%. But in the meantime, the KWC itself achieved about 7.1%, almost 7.5% in just 4 5 days. And I think this is the best performance I've seen from us ever so far in a single week. And so I'm really excited and amazed by what God has done in this 1 week for us. And it is tremendous. And it's not just, KWC story. A lot of partners have also done this. In fact, Rohan has outperformed even this, just so you know. And we will hear from him. Okay. And so this is what it looked like for us at KWC. For a 53 lakh investment, about 3.8 lakhs. Now, this is not, profit that's realized. It's still unrealized profit. I haven't taken it out, but you can already see about 15 trades done, about 93% success rate. There are a couple of trades that are not on here: HDFC Bank and ICICI. I lost a bit on HDFC. I gained quite a bit on ICICI, but those were just unhedged trades. So these are only hedged trades. All the hedged trades are here, and you can see here why hedging really works. In November, we saw 100% accuracy on our hedge trades. Time it is at 93, and even SBI Life. If we carry this to the end of the month, I can guarantee you, if the prices remain the same, this would be 100% return or accurate return. In fact, I was looking at the numbers. If the prices remain the same for December, which is very unlikely, prices change all the time. But if they remain the same, this return would jump to about 15%, almost 8 lakhs. And that's the power of hedging. And I want you to know that this is really good strategy to use on any stock market in any country. And we will be hearing from Rohan how he's been doing this also. Okay. What are the keys to his success? What has he been doing? Okay, so a couple of stocks that did really well for us. You probably saw Asian Paints there. You saw Infratel. You saw Sun Pharma. Sun Pharma almost 1 lakh return so far for me on that share. But the stocks of the week, Asian Paints, we bought it at about 2,166. So it's almost at the bottom. So that's the key. We always try to look for shares that are closer to the bottom. And the struggle is always to find what is the bottom, but we try to find a good place. And this has, again, you can see that it was crossing the EMA support here. A bit of the things that all the indicators that we tend to use, and we picked it up at a very good place, 2,160-ish. Today it is at 2,423. It actually saw 2,440. It has a huge increase, okay, and about 58% return on that investment. And that's because it's on the futures. That's why the investment return is that high. Look at Sun Pharma. Sun Pharma, we picked it up at 507. Again, close to the bottom here. We picked it up at a very good spot. Our stop loss was around 495 initially. Was below this 495, but then from 507, it's today. Yesterday was a big move, so 571, huge move by Sun Pharma, and doing really well there. That's the best return so far for us in this week. And then we have Bharti Infratel. Infratel story actually started at 180. We picked it up in November for 180. We closed it at about 200 something, 220-ish. That was a huge return. I think about 1.1 or 1.2 lakh return on that share in November. But then we picked it up again at 214. It had come down. Again, you can see how we picked it up at a very good crucial point. Okay, it was almost at this candle, this red candle, when it came down and it started spiking back up, is when we got back in at 214. It went to 246, 247, but it closed at 235 in the last 1 day or so. Again, a huge return here, almost 60,000. This is without the hedges. With the hedges, it would be even more. Okay, so that's what has happened for us in the last 1 week. Okay, almost 7% return. But I want you to know this is not the entire story. There's even a better story, a story I really like to hear. And so for that, I'd like to, welcome. I'm going to switch off my. I'll keep my video on, I guess, because Rohan doesn't really want to. He's a bit camera shy. He doesn't want to show himself on video, but he would talk to us and he would share how his journey has been, what are his takeaways, and he's got a lot of. He's like my younger twin. Okay, he loves numbers. He studied in Singapore as well, and he's really all about numbers. So he's got a lot of numbers to show you as well. So I hope this really helps you. All right. So over to you, Rohan.
Thanks, Sarjan. Good afternoon, everybody. So I think before I start, I should probably give you like the path that I took to where I am today. And I started my trading journey in May, and like everybody else who's new to this domain, I started off in equities. Um, of course, I have a little background in finance, and I used to be an investment research analyst in a Southeast Asian country. So I use some of that, some of the knowledge that I gained from that experience into investing my own money, and I had quite a bit of success in equities. So I started with equities, like I said, and I did that following Sargent's instructions on how to read charts and looking for price actions and watching the indicators carefully, and I ended up with a total of about 71,000 in realized PNL, of course minus all the charges because Zerodha can be expensive. I slowly in July I thought, okay, fine, 71,000 is nice, but it's not something. It's not big enough for me. The story gets interesting because I'm going to show you my whole journey in this derivatives domain. Initially, when you look at it, you'll realize that I'm in total, right, as of today, I only have about 1 lakh profit, 1,10,000 in profit for the past 5 months. I never used to follow Sargent's advice. I used to step out in there and do what I thought was right, and I used to listen to my intuitions and follow what my heart was telling me. And in September, I made a huge loss. I lost about, I think, 20% of my portfolio in September, sticking to what I thought, doing what I thought was the right thing. And then I decided I'm going to follow Sargent and be more serious and learn from what he's doing with his portfolio. What is he looking out for? What are his strategies? And I also told myself that it's probably going to take at least 2 to 3, no, not 2 to 3, at least a year to recover this huge loss that I made in September. However, you can see that I've already made up for that amount as of today. That is because in the last 3 months, I would say from October, November to December 4th, I have made, well, 3.26 in realized PN and net being 3.09, and unrealized is 60. So that's almost 3.6 lakhs in the last, I would say last 2 months, which is almost 1.8 lakhs per month. And yeah, I more than recovered that loss in September. And that's why, so that's the thing. When I started following Sergeant, it's really evident, the difference in my performance. You can see it on my calendar as well, performance calendar as well. June, July, I was just dabbling in unknown territory. September, I got crushed, and then you see in October, I'm starting to becoming more and more and more in the green. So that's all. Again, thanks to Sergeant, because I listen to what he has to say, and he's already done most of the research by himself. So I just have to, pull the trigger in terms of, okay, when he says, look out for this, look out for that, and I'm okay, fine. I sit in front of my computer, and as soon as I get a message, I act on it, and I don't try to, think twice about, oh, maybe I should do it this way, or maybe I should do it that way, because I've learned from a very bad experience. And yeah, so that's where I am today. I'm from not being confident in trading derivatives to testing something that I should not, doing something that without any guidance, to becoming really confident and being able to, implement my own strategies and see those become profitable is, yeah, to an extent, I see this as my first income right now, because it is quite substantial what I've started earning in the last 2 months. So yes, thank you, Sergeant.
So I hope this really helped everybody. I think a few things that Rohan usually would tell me is that he's been very disciplined in what he does. All right, and so I think that's really important. We need to be disciplined. We shouldn't panic. I've seen sometimes when the market is sliding or going down, people immediately panic and say, "Oh, what to do? What to do? What to do?" And see, that's the thing with hedging. It really takes the panic out of the equation. Of course, it's not easy to watch the prices or your profit sometimes come down a lot, but because you're hedged, at the end of the month, it makes a huge difference. Even today, for example, this, I think, Rohan, what was it for December? Can you pick it up?
Yeah, I'm at, as of yesterday, I'm at 1.38, and by Monday, hopefully, if everything stays the same, it will go up to 1.51.
So that's 1.51 lakhs that he's looking at about on an investment of 15 lakhs, right?
Yeah, and in 6 days.
Yeah, in 6 days, 10% on 15 lakhs of investment, 1.5 lakhs. But here's the entire story. This is not the entirety of the story. If, for example, he stays in this investment and the share prices do not move from here, I think he can make roughly maybe 3 lakhs.
Yeah. I think just around 3 lakhs.
Yeah, just by the hedging. And it's the same thing for me. I'm up at about 3.7 lakhs now in the same 5-6 days. And if I stay in it and the share prices don't move from where they are right now, I could end up with about 8 lakhs. So this is hedging, why hedging is so powerful. Even when, the share price doesn't go our way, I'm not sure. Now, if you look at the positions he's taken, they look pretty similar to the positions I've taken, because he's just following, exactly what I'm doing. Rohan, so when you started,
yeah,
what was your thought on investments? Were you looking to make, was it short, like, a month-long thing, or would you get fidgety when you see the market, the price is moving or going down? What was your reaction when you started?
I think it's evident from these charges that you see here that I used to overtrade, which basically meant that I didn't have a clue of what is happening. And if I see something, and I think I should trade on the 1 minute or the 5-minute chart, which is really not the way to go about trading. So that's why you see that I used to end up over trading, and the charges basically ate into my profits.
Okay. What changed?
Uh, uh, the
Like, what is it
main,
you do now? What, okay, so you were 1 minute, 5 minute over trading. What do you do now?
so now if it's intraday, I stick to 15 minutes like you told me, and then I also have an indicator which is a stochastic RSI. So I have this on at all times, and I watch this, and you know take make a decision based on what I see on my screen and not what what I feel in my heart. So I've left out the qualitative part, that feeling part, out of my trading completely, and what I'm I watch my screen, and I listen to you when I make a decision.
Okay, so before anyone thinks, that you're always on the screen, uh, just tell us, what's your day like on the stock market? Are you in front of the screen the entire, from 9 o'clock? Oh, just give us a quick thought.
Oh, so I usually wake up at 6 o'clock, 6:30, and after prayers and all that, I read the newspapers, see how U.S. markets closed. I see how Japanese markets and the Asian markets are doing, so that I get like a understanding of, okay, what might our open be like. Then of course I read the Indian economic websites. Like, I mean, I mostly read Economic Times, and I also listen to CNBC TV for live news on what's happening, and then I also like to listen to all these corporate heads speaking about their companies and what their outlook for the market is. So I start the trading day at about 9 o'clock, and I take a like a 2 hour break in between to go to the gym because I put on too much weight during this pandemic, and then I refocus again by 1:30 and wait it out till the end of the day at 3:30.
Okay. So just so that nobody misconstrues you, you're not in front of your screen the entire, trading day, right?
No,
You go to the gym in between,
I go to
and
gym.
I assume you have your lunch in between.
Yeah, I do have my lunch in between. So that's in total about 2 to 3 hours.
Wow. So,
Uh,
and you don't overtrade, right? You don't do every day is not meant for trading. Sometimes you make adjustments, but you
yeah,
don't
I don't trade that much at all these days. Like we take the positions at the beginning of the month, and that's it. I think that we don't like I don't really trade at all. Maybe I do but one or two trades on Nifty and Bank Nifty options or futures when I see a trend that I can really capitalize on, and that's probably two trades in that particular day, and then maybe next day nothing, the day after nothing. So yeah, it's I don't trade in between the month, maybe at the beginning of the month and then end of the month to close out all the positions and roll it over.
Yeah, so I think that's another misconception that people have, that it's all frantic, moving and you're buying and selling every time, every 1 hour, every 15 minutes you're moving, doing this. It's not that. You're actually just watching the screen. If you need to make some adjustments, you make adjustments accordingly, and that's about it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So, can you tell me, was it more stressful then, or is it more stressful now?
Oh, it's less stressful now.
Okay.
That's for certain, because I know what I'm doing, right? And also it's more quantitatively backed right now, so that I know the probability of stock moving past its short triangle. So I'm much more confident right now, and yeah, so I would put it that way.
Okay. And have you decreased your investment or have you increased your capital?
I've
Just
actually in this month I increased it by 50% from like 10 lakhs to 15 lakhs.
so you have increased your capital, you have started trading less, your
Yeah.
stress levels are low, you don't sit in front of the computer the entire day, you go to the gym in between.
Yes.
And so these are all misconceptions a lot of people have, when it comes to investments. Thank you, Rohan. Come on, guys. I just want you to know, he has been one of the best students here at KWC. And truth be told, he has outperformed me in the last 2 months.
Hmm.
And this is simply great. I just want you guys to know that this is exactly what I imagined when I first started KWC. That one day I'll see a lot of people who are who I have mentored or helped, and they are doing better than me. That is. I have a daughter, and for me, my dream is that she would do much better than me. And it's the same with anyone who I mentor or help. I want them to do better than me. And this is, living proof. What is it? November. Show us November, by the way. Yeah. So November 1.85, 1.95 lakhs. This is on how much?
10 lakhs.
10 lakhs. So that's almost 20%. I only performed 12% November. I really appreciate the fact that he has learned. He has become more disciplined in his approach, and he's putting it to good use, and he's creating wealth for him and himself and his family. Now, like I said, he's a bachelor, so his parents are also involved in this equation somehow, I guess. What are your parents' take away from you when you first started investing and all of that? What were their thoughts?
Well, I think they are used to people hearing that they made money and then they lost money. So they, at the end of the day, net is zero. So they're not like, I would say even till about November mid, they weren't really confident that I could make anything from this. But I haven't told them about December, which they will be surprised. And then they realize, okay, fine. If you know what you're doing, if you are taking guidance from people who are experts in this field, it's not about going up and coming down and going up and coming down. You can make a steady pace, keeping constantly going up as well. So I think they will be very very happy to know this.
Uh, Now, someone had asked me to talk about a bit about my story too. I just want you to know I come from a very middle class family. And I think Rohan's case is also kind of similar to mine. And it's not like we were born with golden spoon in our mouths, and we did have. I'm presuming that he also had a similar background like me, born abroad or something, and we studied abroad a bit, and studied here and all of that. But middle class families, we're not like ultra rich. But I want you to know that young people, see, I'm 38 now, maybe not so young now, but young people in this age bracket from 20 to 40, we can actually generate wealth for us, ourselves, and our families, for our parents, for our children if you're married, all of that. That's possible. It's just a matter of application, discipline, and understanding how to do this. If you don't really know, listen. And I think that's what he said. No, he listened. And I think that's key. If you are able to listen and follow along, it is very possible. I know that September was a tough month for him. September was a tough month for everybody. Okay, I think the market went down by 8-9%. I myself only made about 2.5% gain, which was, I think it was that really gave me the confidence to know that no matter where the market goes, we can make a good return on this every month. Yeah. So Rohan, thank you so much. You've
Thank
been
you.
a great blessing. I just want you to know you've been a great blessing to me also, because every time we talk to each other about all the investments that we are making, I realize I'm so glad that someone's really applying what they've learned and they're making the best use of it. So really want to appreciate you. Thank you so much for all the efforts, and love the love the numbers and the excels that you put out. Rohan, by the way, question: do you think it's easier to invest in, say, KWC, or invest yourself? What's the better return?
Well, okay. So in my case, I'm not working right now, so I think it's easier for me to invest on my own. However, if I start working, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't get any time at all to monitor the positions. I mean, not continuously, but even at least once or twice a day. In that case, yes, I would definitely be interested in parking my money with KWC to help with my investments.
Why is that? Why not somewhere else?
So because firstly, I know you, and I've seen your performance over the past few months, and that's given me confidence that the whole point is I want to make money, right? I don't want to lose money, and I don't want to go to somebody else that I don't know who will probably be gloating about their performance, but I've not seen it. I've not seen it at all. But it's not the case with you because I see it with you. I trade with you every day, so I'm more confident in parking my money with you than anybody else.
Ideal case, I want people to learn and invest by themselves, because trust me, you can make you can even outperform me at times, just like Rohan has displayed in the last 2 months. That's, 1 month it might be a fluke. When you have 2 months in a row, that's not a fluke. There's something there. I just want you to know that ideal case, you should invest on your, after learning with us, well, you should invest on your own, okay, and make that money, make that return for yourself. But if you are unable to, spend time learning, or don't have time to invest on your own, I think this is a great thing to do in terms of partnership. And I just want you to know what KWC partnership is as well, so that it really helps you in case you are interested. Okay. Okay. For those who are probably interested in that, that's called a KWC partnership plan, where you can invest. Basically, it's an investment loan to me, a minimum of 1 lakh, because a lot of people are wanting to invest. We try not to have too many people, and you will get a 12% interest per annum on this. And this compares to about 3% in the savings bank, 5 to 6% in the FDs, 10%, 10% in mutual funds. By the way, none of these will assure you of your capital being safe and secure. And that's the difference there too. And you have a lot of other key differences that really help anyone who needs a good, safe return on their investments. So in case you're interested, do get back to me. We have a few questions, so we take those questions now. But remember, like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And let's look at these questions. All right. Okay. We have questions. Rohan, do you feel that your background in finance has helped you understanding the concepts better?
I would say so because I'm also doing this course called CFA. So that it's a very quantitative course, and but I've been doing it for the past 2 years, and I've never really taken I've never used it practically. However, November, December, once I started getting more disciplined and getting more confident, I was able to, apply some of those strategies which I've spoken to. I think I discussed one of my strategies with Sarjan in November, from which I made about 25,000 in like 6 working days. It's where I look at volatility of a stock, and I have a 68%. I know that there's a 68% probability that the stock price will remain within a particular standard deviation, and I take hedges. I put fences on either side of that stock price, and by the end of the expiry, if the stock price is within those two prices, I make a lot of money. So these are all strategies that I've learned from my CFA course, and which I've been able to implement practically with the help of Sergeant. Give me that confidence and give me a little more advice, more practical advice on how to implement it successfully. So yes, my background has helped me a little bit. I wouldn't say completely, a lot. Yeah.
Did you learn about hedging theoretically, or something? Did you learn about it, or did you learn on the go?
Theoretically, yes, of course, I learned about hedging, but I did not know how to implement it at all. And I did try hedging in September, the month when I lost 20% of my portfolio. I did try hedging, but none of it worked. So that's when I realized, okay, fine, I need to follow somebody who does this more in a more practical manner. And so when I started, like in October, I learned, okay, Sergeant is doing this, Sergeant doing this for a reason. This is the level that he's seen on the charts, and he's put, so okay, fine. October I learned that. November I picked up more of it, and now December I'm more confident about, okay, this is the hedge that I need to apply by looking at the charts and other fundamental factors as well. And yeah, so it's on the flow. It was all on the flow.
Okay. And just so you know, our strategies don't remain static, right? For example, I remember in September when the market was crashing, I was very heavily hedged. I had like 4 or 5 hedges on my future positions. On the other hand, in December, we're more into what Rohan was talking about, strangles, where we take we hedge positions beyond the possible movement of the stock, and we just relax and sit back because there's a huge probability that it won't reach either of these levels, and at the end of the month we'll make that money. So about out of my 18, sorry, about 16 positions, I think I have only future positions in about 8. The rest are all strangles. Okay. Okay. So another question. What is your advice for someone starting out with derivatives for the first time? Futures and options. What is your advice, Rohan?
I would say take like listen to Sergeant, but you don't have to
So
trade
that's
it.
the mantra. Listen to Saj.
But yeah, I mean, just to get the confidence, of course, if it's your first time, you probably don't understand what Sergeant's saying either. So listen to him, but don't trade it directly on the market. Instead, go to like maybe giving you an example. Go to Sensible, and they have something called a virtual trading option where you can like copy the strategy that Sergeant is suggesting and put it into that virtual trading program, and it's basically the same thing except that you're not gaining or losing any money, but you will get a really good understanding of what that strategy is trying to do, and you'll see the different moving parts of it, and yeah, by the end of the month you'll become really confident to actually this time listen and then do it on a live basis as well.
Yeah. All right. So I hope that helped. Okay. So initially, it's always good to start slowly. And if you can do it virtually at first, either on paper or like Rohan suggests on Sensible, that will give you the confidence about how the strategies work. All right. Let me see this. I think there's one more question. What is the total risk on the capital on average, or do the hedges eliminate such a risk? Do you have an answer to that, Rohan?
So this is again like in September, October, like I was again learning slowly, right? So when Sergeant used to take a hedge, I was like, what is this hedge? Why is he taking this? Like, I don't understand. But I realized, yes, hedges do minimize the risk to a huge extent, but at the same time, once the futures, you see the futures start falling beyond that, and you don't have capital to add more hedges, you should have set your GTT or your stop loss very carefully around that, that area, that break even area, so that at the end of the month you'll realize all your money from the from the hedges, and maybe something that you made up to futures as well. So yeah, hedges do help, but you should also be careful about placing those stop losses properly.
Yeah. So there is a risk. What Rohan's basically trying to say in very plain English for some of you is that there is nothing that has no risk attached to it. Okay. Every investment, whether it's in the stock market or it's in the bank or whatever, everything has risk. You getting out of the house, today has risk, right? Especially in this coronavirus pandemic season. So everything has risk. The key and why we use hedges is to reduce the risk as much as possible. What that means is we're not really bothered about where the market goes. As long as we keep our stop losses, we know what our break evens are on our strategy. As long as we know what our margins are like, as long as we know what all hedges we can take, we will always more or less come out of one single position with good profit or a minimal loss. One single position. How it really works is when you diversify. If you have enough capital and you diversify, for example, if you see Rohan's portfolio for this month, he's done about 8 positions, right? Rohan, 8 positions. Some of that.
1 minute. Yeah, about 6 to 7.
Okay. So
wait, 1, 2, actually, yeah, 8. Sorry, yeah, 8.
okay. So he's done 8. I'll show you mine. This is my live Excel sheet. For some of you, you might not understand all of it. But anyway, see, I've done 15 positions. So there's 2 things we can do here. One is we reduce as much risk as possible on all our individual positions by hedging. but also we have safety in the diversity of our shares for trading. If you look at, this is my portfolio for this month. Asian Paints is now that's where I have a future long position. But Berger Paints is another paint company. I thought both the paint companies were looking good. This is just an ordinary strangle position. I will only realize the fullness of this at the end of the month, not now. Dabur, FMCG, Dr. Reddy's. Now, again, pharmaceuticals look like they're doing well. So that's why I have three pharmaceutical shares in this portfolio. But normally I would only take one, maximum two from each sector. Again, here Sun Pharma has a long future, but this Lupin has a strangle. There's no futures there. Dr. Reddy's has a futures, and we're just starting to work on that. Godrej is consumer products. Havells is yeah, again, home appliances, consumer products. HCL Tech, IT. TVS Motors, automobile. SBI Life Insurance. HDFC Bank. So you can see that the X side is automobile or batteries. So again, you can see how the portfolio is geared in such a way that it's not heavily weighted towards just one sector. But again, the safety to reduce your risk is to hedge each position, and also the safety lies in your diversification of your portfolio to again reduce the risk. That's what we do. Right? I hope that helped. All right, we're down to one last question. If anyone has one last question, we take it up. One last question. Anybody? All right. All good. So thank you so much, everybody. I hope to see you again. Remember, KWC here is here to help you learn how to trade well and to invest well and to grow your capital. This is not a money-making venture for me, to make money out of people by, teaching them something and for a huge amount of money. There's nothing like that. I want you to learn, and I want you to do better than me at a very minimal cost to yourself. Okay? If I could, I'd offer it for free also. It's just that it doesn't make sense that way. I monetize it, but at a very small amount. There is a way to make it free also, which is when you actually become a partner with KWC and invest into KWC, you get interest capital on your capital back that way, and you get the advisory for free as well. So that's another possible way where you can join KWC partnership, and so you earn an interest at the same time you get free access to learn, and so that's another great possibility for anyone who's interested. But the best way is, I think, learn well and employ the strategies that you can work alongside us as we do our trading and make good returns and secure your family, secure your finances, help others in return. That's the thing I want everybody to do. Okay, as much as possible, grow your wealth so that you are in a position to help someone else. Right. So cheers, everybody. I'll see you later. Thank you, Rohan. Once again, you've been a big blessing. God bless you all. Catch you next time.